I'm back in the terminal here, and I will enter a new database, Awesome Places, by using it. And in this database, I want to add some nice places, essentially locations, which I can then query. And we'll do this together right from start. We'll also add these places right from start so that you can understand how geospatial data needs to be stored so that you can work with it. In the official docs, you'll find an article about GeoJSON, how it's structured and which kind of GeoJSON objects MongoDB supports. Because GeoJSON is not a standard invented by MongoDB, it's actually available outside of MongoDB too, and there you have more objects available than are supported by MongoDB, but MongoDB supports all major important objects like points, lines, or polygons, as well as some special advanced objects. Now, this article is definitely worth checking out, but the most important thing here is that you understand how a GeoJSON object is created. And creating it is very simple. To work with some data, I chose the San Francisco area, but of course you can open up Google Maps and work with different locations. I'll use Google Maps to pick some locations so that we also can see something on the map and kind of validate whether our queries work correctly. Now, let's work with that Golden Gate Park. And let's start by adding one simple location in our database. Let's say we are going to pick some awesome places. I like this park quite a lot actually. I've been there. I've not been to every place I'm going to pick now, but let's simply pick some places here, like the California Academy of Sciences. Now in Google Maps, if you click on a place, you can easily access the coordinates of that place from inside the URL. You'll find them here. Now, the important thing is the first coordinate until the first comma is the latitude. The second one is the longitude. And you'll need to remember that to store it correctly in MongoDB. Coordinates are always expressed as latitude-longitude or longitude-latitude pairs, because the longitude essentially describes a position on a vertical axis if you draw it onto our globe, onto the Earth globe, and the latitude describes a horizontal axis on the Earth globe. And with that coordinate system, we can map any point onto our Earth. So let's work with that data, and let's add this as an awesome place to our collection. So here I'll add a new places collection, and I'll insert one new place. Now, you insert a normal document, this doesn't change, and I'll give it a name of California Academy of Sciences, because that is the name that we see here. And then I want to add the coordinates in GeoJSON format. Now, there's nothing special about GeoJSON. You can add any key you want with any name you want. I'll name it location, but you could name it log, you could name it totally different, that does not matter. What matters is the structure of this value. The value should be an embedded document, and in that embedded document, you'll need two pieces of information. And these two pieces of information are also mentioned in the official docs. You'll need to define the type, and you'll need to define the coordinates. The coordinates are then an array where the first value, and now this is really important, where the first value has to be the longitude, and the second value is the latitude. So let's add a point exactly the way we can see it here. Let's go back and grab our longitude first. So this second value here on Google Maps, copy that. And then here, I will first of all add a type. And type here is point, because I add a single point. And then I add my coordinates. And now these key names here are not up to you. This one has to be named type, and it has to be one of the supported types, like point. And this one has to be named coordinates, and it has to be an array where the first value is now our longitude, and the second value, separated with a comma, is then our latitude. So let's grab that latitude here and enter this here. With this, I added this place, and therefore, if I now simply find one, the only place I added thus far, this is now my GeoJSON object, exactly this. And it is treated as GeoJSON because it fulfills the requirement of having a type, which is one of the supported objects, and of having coordinates, which is an array where the first value is treated as the longitude and the second value is treated as the latitude. Now, with that point added, we know how GeoJSON looks like. Let's now find out how we can query that GeoJSON data.